Good evening, Love Wrestling community. How are we doing this evening? It's Thursday night. That's Pluggo. You know what it means. You see Pluggo here. I am JPJ. This is another episode of Between Two Beards. We already got our boy Spencer in the chat saying, hey, friends. Hello, boss. Good to see you.
Thanks for giving us another episode.
Yeah, thanks for letting us do this thing one more time, or maybe we'll just keep going.
I mean, that
I'm hearing myself over there.
Oh, sorry, I hit the wrong button on the phone. But no, like he really railed into us in the office. It was the first time he didn't start with "Hey, friends."
Well, you shared the email, like it was very
correct.
It was to the point. Oh, hold on. Okay, so we want to say hi to our buddy Jeremy. He says, "What's going on? Good to see you, my friend." And then we were talking about this a little bit off air.
I'm gonna
since our buddy Ryan. He says, "Can we have a moment of silence for Cub fans all over
No
the
silence.
world?"
I'm mad. I'm upset. I want to cry.
Oh, and look at this. Like he says, we got Parrish for the whole show. Usually he pops in towards the end because of work, the real gimmick reasons. But he's here at the beginning. Good. I'm glad you're here, Chris. Good to see you. Hopefully you will be in the chat all evening as we talk about whatever we want. Blow it up. Tell us what you want to talk about.
Mighty Joe, our producer, is on assignment this week, so JPJ is going to man the board. So let's make it hard.
I'm in total control tonight. But no, we have a hard hour tonight. We will be taking you straight up to another wonderful edition of Quizplex this evening at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Hosted by our man Zach, baby.
Hosted by our man Zach. Ella J is on there, as well as some other special guests this evening. So it should be another wonderful episode of Quizplex. That's why you see the early 8 o'clock start for us tonight, as we do every last Thursday of the month here. We want to say hello. You were with us yesterday evening when we had the late night AEW Dynamite War Report reactions. Thanks for hopping in, Dara. Appreciate it a lot.
Yes, I am. Chaos. Anarchy! Anarchy! Just
all right,
wrestling is fun.
Well, let's talk about this for a minute, because I know you and I, not only do we love wrestling, we love baseball, we love a lot of other sports. You are a Cubs fan.
Yes.
You are a Cubs fan. And for right before we went on the air, one of the core...
One of the faces
of the Chicago Cubs, breaking the curse. He's been there for what seems to be a decade now, maybe even longer, maybe slightly less. But around that time, Anthony Rizzo was traded to the New York Yankees. The rumor was he was coming to my Red Sox, more of a homecoming. We needed a first baseman. He was originally drafted by us. That was the big rumor, that the Red Sox were going hard at Anthony Rizzo. But it seems that our arch rivals, the New York Yankees, garbage. I'm sorry.
Oh, I know.
I will fight Yankee fans. I'm sorry. I'm one of those. I'm a very mild-mannered guy, but if you like the Yankees, I like you just a little bit less. But that's okay. That's just me. Anyway.
All I know.
I'll give you the floor, since you've had the brunt of his career.
I don't know what
you're probably a little heartbroken a little bit.
So basically, I've been a Cubs fan my entire life. Ignore the Texas hat. This hat for my son's t-ball team, so I rep this squad. Cubs fan my whole life, through thick or thin, and Anthony Rizzo during some dark times there was like, he's like the nicest dude. He's like the face of the team. I know he's not producing like he used to, and you have to make these moves, but it still doesn't mean it's not a sad day. I had a dog named Rizzo at one point. I mean, it's just one of these. It's a sad day for Cubs fans, and we're breaking up the core that won us that championship. I have a Cubs tattoo on my leg.
Oh boy,
I'm that guy, and man, it's just I saw that news right before we went on air, and it's
of all
just
teams to the Yankees.
Of all, exactly. Like if you want to trade him to the Rays or the Red Sox, it's not, but it's the Yankees who also just took like another. So they're just gearing up to probably win a World Series, and
no, they're gonna finish like third, bro. They are not
whatever.
Good. They are not good at all.
Is my boy Rizzo is now no longer a Cub. He's one of those guys that he'll be forever loved by Chicago.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that whole team, right? That whole team that it was. Look at for me, growing up a Red Sox fan, we didn't win anything either for a long time until 2004, and we've been lucky since. We've won 4 times since then, which is amazing. Our whole, I don't have to get into it, but this area has been really good sports-wise for the last, 20 years or so.
You guys are all right.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, right, like that 2004 team that won that first World Series, they weren't even the best team of the 4 champions, right, that we've had. But, like, that's the team that broke the curse. That's the team that finally did it. Like, that team, everyone on that team is going to be remembered forever. And I assume it's a very similar situation for Cubs fans. Like everybody on that roster is going to be idolized forever.
Yeah.
Because they broke that 108-year curse, whatever it was, you know what I mean? Like that matters to a lot of people. A lot of people had parents and grandparents that lived their whole lives that didn't see the Cubs win anything. So, like that's a big deal, But enough about baseball. Parrish, don't you dare talk bad about the game.
Everything is correct, but yes, we're a wrestling show. But I just had to talk about my man Anthony Rizzo. It's a sad day for my sports fans, but like I said, we're here to talk wrestling. We have a hard hour today. Quizplex, always a good time, is up at 9. So drop your questions, comments. We're going to get into a lot of stuff as best we can. We have a draft, which I won again. If you felt
which he hasn't still announced what the topic is. So we're gonna be drafting that on the fly.
I'll announce it right now. What, we're going to draft current wrestling champions across all brands. We're going to just see who, if you're putting 5 together, what's your 5 champions? There's at least 60 champions in the WWE right now. So I think we could fill out 10 spots. But so drop your favorite current champion in the comments. I know JPJ, you wanted to talk a lot about a certain champion who won on Saturday. Do we dive into that right now?
Yeah, well, I mean, why not? I think so. I think we need to give Matt Cardona his roses tonight on Between Two Beards.
If I had some roses, I'd give
it to him. Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder, just such good stuff. Just such good stuff last week. Good for that guy. We talked about it a little bit because we saw Nick Gage fight Chris Jericho last night on Dynamite. So we did talk about Nick Gage, but like, just good for him. I'm glad he was the center of the wrestling universe this past weekend. And I'm not a deathmatch guy. Like, I'm not a super hard deathmatch guy, right? It's not for me, but I can find the entertainment and the enjoyment out of it. And those 2 matches against Cardona on Saturday and against Jericho last night, like those entertained me and I enjoyed both of them. But Matt Cardona on Saturday, that was awesome. It was awesome. It was a very, very cool moment. And, he's kind of in my eyes, he's why it worked so perfectly is because it told a great story. The lead-in was awesome. The match itself told a great story with, Zack Ryder really just getting all the death. Like he got the pizza cutter. He got the light tubes. He went through the pane of glass. And it's Zack Ryder. He's the antithesis. He's like the exact guy that GCW universe hates.
Yes.
Absolutely hates. He's the perfect example of it. And, Yeah, man, I'm just really happy for him. I'm really happy for him. I'm happy for that moment. It was awesome. And I saw I saw Sean Ross Sapp tweet it, and it was literally the same discussion that I was having with my friends when we were watching the match. That was like, I believe Sean Ross Sapp said something along the lines like, that was the closest to like old school ECW feeling, like with the crowd and the way that they reacted to everything that he has seen in a while. And I just wanted to talk about it, and I just wanted to praise Matt Cardona because I loved it. I loved everything that had to do with that main event on Saturday. It was awesome.
It was so good.
Oh man!
Yeah. I like you said, I'm not much of a deathmatch man myself. I think slowly but surely I'm going to start dabbling in more of it based on the last week of professional wrestling, how it's been so in my face, and I'm like, it's not that bad if they tell a good story. And this is what they did. So Matt Cardona is like the perfect foil to a Nick Gage. You know, Nick Gage's story came up from nothing. Deathmatch wrestler, died in the ring, hardcore guy, went to prison. And then there's like pretty boy Matt Cardona, super tan, broski. And he's coming into this just uncharted territory. Everybody thinks he's just some ex-WWE hack that's not going to do anything. And he comes out with a little help, of course. I mean, if you haven't seen it, sure, you got a little help at the end there. But whether you watch the whole match or just the end of it is worth the price of admission alone. When he wins that title and they just pelt him with with bottles and drinks. And I know what Dave Meltzer said about how it's not a good look for fans. No, that was perfect. That was heat. That was what he wanted. And I don't think as much as that was a very chaotic scene for that match, it looked very controlled too. Like it was controlled chaos, right? Like the GCW fans, if they really hated Matt Cardona, could have just jumped him right.
Oh,
there,
they could have,
right?
yeah, they
right. You know what I mean?
You know?
Like, yeah, exactly. And if they really wanted to cause like an actual riot, I think they would have. But I think even they know it's good for business, right? Because what are we talking about outside of my boy Anthony Rizzo getting traded right off the jump? We're talking about GCW, Nick Gage, and a death match. That's all you need to know, right? Of a whole week of wrestling and all the rumors that have been flying and all the great matches we've seen this week. We're talking Nick Gage. Who would have thought? So
yeah,
good on them.
It really is, and it's just, you know, and I know I joked around and said I want to give Matt Cardona his roses, but like Nick Gage getting these 2 matches over this past, 4 or 5 days, right? Like getting that spotlight. Yes, he was the GCW champion, but he got that spotlight fighting a guy that kind of a lot of the wrestling universe knows on Saturday, and that was the main wrestling of the week. Like that was the main match people were talking about all weekend, right? Yeah. And then he gets that moment where he main events AEW Dynamite against one of the greatest to ever do it in a no rules match. And, it's just good for him to get that moment. It's a good story. He obviously messed up. He paid his dues, and now he's kind of getting this this week full of stuff where like he has been part of the center of the wrestling universe. So like Matt Cardona for getting himself over once again. He did it when he was under WWE contract when they weren't using him, and he's shown that he can do it again now that he's not with WWE at all. And I think, guys that have always been a fan of his, like I know you have been for a long time and I have too, like we didn't really have any doubt that he would figure it out. You know what I mean?
And he took all of it, and that he didn't have to.
Yeah.
He could have said, no, don't pizza cutter my face. Don't stab you. He could have said, we're going to take it easy. And he went the full way. Like he let Nick Gage just take advantage of him. And like, good on him, man. Like I watch these things and I cringe, but in good ways. I'm like, I would never do that. But, that looks gnarly. Like, and they're doing that. And he did that for 1,000 people. Became the number 1 trend on Twitter. Like Matt Cardona like reinvented himself in one night. It wasn't one night, it was a story, but that winning the thing reinvents him, right? Because now he's got this heel persona where he gets to play into all this stuff where in the WWE, maybe he's just another guy. He kind of
100%.
You know what I mean? But now it's like, here's this pretty boy dude with this outlaw title and everybody hates it, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's wonderful. We have WrestleMania joining us in the chat. Good to see you, my
friend.
Good
to see you.
Thanks for hopping in. He says, I wonder what's next for Gage. You think he sticks around in AEW, or was just this a one and done and he goes back to GCW? I would assume it's a one and done, kind of like, hey, man, we appreciate your, you writing yourself, getting back into the thing. He's a very well-liked guy inside the wrestling world. So I think this was, I could see him pop back maybe here or there occasionally, I
don't think they're going to sign him to a contract. You know what I mean? I think he does this. I think he's GCW. He's the poster boy or poster guy or child or whatever you want to call for that. And then, I think there's still money to be made with a Mox and Gage feud, which I think would be something AEW would rather do at a pay-per-view than have Mox at GCW, which I think. So he comes back a couple times here and there. It's possible, but I don't think he's going to stay.
Yeah.
And there's not really a lot to do with him there.
No, and I agree. We have this from Kate. I did not hear this. I don't know, maybe if you did. But, AEW had, right as he does the pizza cutter thing on Jericho and they go to picture-in-picture, the first ad we get is a Domino's ad.
Oh, really? I didn't even notice.
You didn't notice? Oh, it was, as Spencer said, hilarious. It was perfect. They like the perfect picture, like Gage. He had just done it the first time. And he's like bloody, and there's blood on the pizza cutter, and he's looking at the camera, like smiling, like to the crowd, and then it just goes picture in picture.
Did Domino's really threaten?
I have no reason to believe that. I mean, I didn't hear it, but I mean, if they did, it already happened. So, well. What are you gonna do?
All I know is today when I cooked a pizza for the kids for lunch, because
Spencer says that they actually have. He can verify that. So I guess.
Oh wow! Threatening.
I guess for replays, is that what it already happened? How do you I don't know.
Well, they don't want to be associated.
Yeah, they don't want to be associated with the violence. I'm assuming.
I guess. But I mean, have you eaten a bad Domino's pizza before? That can get pretty violent.
You are
right. I had the pizza cutter out today, and I thought I was supposed to go like this to it. I didn't know what to do. So when my kids are like, "Dad, what are you doing with that pizza?" I'm like trembling. Like, do I cut somebody? Cut the pizza, shroud it up, and they were like, "Just cut it normal, Dad. Shut up."
Yeah, and I guess. Right. And as Spencer says, they're threatening to pull their advertising from TNT in total. All right, well, that's a big deal. I'm sure that's a big money.
I'm sure there'll be
I'm sure they'll figure it out. They'll understand there was no real harm there. But as Jeremiah says, I mean, it's the good thing about wrestling, Jeremiah, is, I mean, he says Cage is the guy I go cornet on. He's just not my cup of vodka. All right, well, the good thing about wrestling is it's subjective. Like we did the War Report with Ed last night, and Ed was the same way. He said he appreciated it for what it was, but it wasn't his cup of tea, and he's just not a big fan of Gage and that type of wrestling. And in general, I'm not either. Like I've said, it's just I can appreciate it for what it was, and I thought both matches, at least the two that I saw on Saturday against Cardona and against Jericho last night, they were good for me. I enjoyed them both. I thought they were entertaining, but all in all, death match and that type of stuff is not – I'm not a death match guy, but all in all, I think I enjoyed what I saw from Nick Gage this week for sure.
What's even crazier is there was even crazier stuff on that show, on that GCW show.
Yeah,
what
there was. Exactly. Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but there's a guy that takes like a bundle of like meats, like shrimp skewers, and like pierces, like he was piercing like Janela's face and stuff. And I'm like, I'm just like, I was like, oh God, why?
I can't do it. No.
Oh, I'm getting too old for this.
Yeah. Our friend Ashford says, I'm not a fan of the death matches. It was entertaining last night. I haven't watched Gage versus Cardona yet. I recommend you do if you can. It was very good. It was very, very good. Yeah, so that was and Jeremiah says, I dig hardcore matches on the card, but when there's blood in every match, I just don't dig it. I'm 100% agree. I think, when there is blood occasionally and stuff like that, I think it adds to the matches, So if you start to see blood in every match you're watching, it does kind of take away from the added drama that can add to a match. You know what I mean? But all in all, the death matches that I've watched, they've been okay. It's just I wouldn't go out of my way to watch that type of wrestling all the time.
So is that what's been wrong with Cody Rhodes matches?
Oh man,
every time. He's gonna bleed next Wednesday. I'm calling it right now.
You know one thing he better do next Wednesday. That's lose. Anyway, I don't care if he bleeds or not. I'm worried about whether he's going to get his hand raised at the end of the match or not. And then we have Spencer saying, "I think death matches are."
I think you're neat, Spencer.
Yeah, we do. We do.
We
Don't yell at us tomorrow, please.
Please. Don't send another straw. You had Morin worried. Spencer had Morin worried with that.
Yeah,
email.
I know.
He didn't even say greetings, friends. He just started getting into
in the office.
That's what happens. That's what happens. Oh.
Wow.
Oh, he voted for me. That's unheard of.
Wow. I can't believe that. Jeez. All right. Pluggo. All right. Yeah, I wanted to talk about Matt Cardona. What do you want to talk about?
Oh, man.
What's next on your list? What do you want to talk about? Chat, what do you want to talk about?
You know I want to talk about Cool Runnings.
Yeah, I will.
No, what's been going on? No, the wrestling this week has been like fantastic, right? We had so much good stuff. We had 2 non-WWE or AEW events, trend number 1, which I think is phenomenal. And one of them wasn't even wrestling. We had the Faye Jackson trial. We talked about that a little last week. And just this week has been awesome for like the Forbidden Door. You know, Moxley cut a promo. I know some of them. Heath Slater. You know, I want to talk Heath Slater all the time, Jeremy. Heath Slater is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers, and that's not even a joke.
I know it's not.
He's fantastic. But no, I thought wrestling this week was fantastic, right? Like, and then Moxley cutting that promo, talking about how he's sending contracts over to Japan, and whoever comes, bring it. I love the Forbidden Door thing. I think we've talked about it in the past, and I really think it's hitting its stride in the sense that I just never know what's going to happen anymore outside of a WWE ring, which we all know they're not going to really dive into anything like this. But seeing Nick Gage show up and then Juventud Guerrero next week, like Hoovy, I didn't even know Hoovy was still doing his thing, right? Like, that's awesome.
That's gonna be good.
That's so cool, right? Like, keep it coming. I mean, Chavo Guerrero's back. Man, I just love wrestling. It's just so good.
Yeah.
And and Battle Riot, I saw the comment there.
Oh yeah,
that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Our past guest, Alex Kane, made his debut.
Yeah, he looked good too. He looked good in there.
Looked good in there, killing it. Hammerstone winning, predictable, but not bad. Gets a shot at Fatu now, which I think is going to be awesome. And I think you're going to see Hammerstone pull it out. I'm gonna call it now. I think Contra Unit, for my money, it's still good, but it's not the same that it used to be. So I think Contra Unit, it needs something new and maybe chasing a title, because they've denied Hammerstone a shot. The only chance he had was to win Battle Riot.
Yeah, which he did.
And he took out like most of Contra Unit by himself, which again, if you're going to build him up to be this massive, unbeatable guy, why not double champ him up? Let's see it. Like, that'd be fun. I'm down for that.
Yeah, that'd be good. That would be exciting. One thing I think we should talk about is what Kate says here. So excited for Chicago in September.
What, Bears football is terrible, bro.
You think he's talking about Bears football? Come on.
I mean,
come on now.
I mean, Justin Fields is going to be good.
Yeah, no, he is going to be good. He is going to be good.
I think he's talking about what Darby Allin said last night.
Well, here's the thing. So now Chicago, they got a couple things now, because they have this new show that Shivani and Tony Khan announced last night on AEW Dynamite, and then they also have All Out like a couple weeks later in September. So they have they got these 2 massive things, revolving around the rumor of their hometown savior of wrestling, CM Punk, the voice of the voiceless, however you want to call him. Last night on AEW, not only did they announce a new special event on Friday, August 20th, the night before SummerSlam. Oh my God. They announced that it's at the United Center, which Ed informed us last night that WWE doesn't really run the United Center when they go to Chicago. They go to the Rosemont Horizon. The United Center is a big, big venue. It's a bigger venue than what WWE normally runs. And now with the Punk rumor and this big event and it being called The First Dance, and that's the song that Punk played on his social medias the other day, and it's in Chicago, And then you had Darby Allin right after. That
called
tease,
him out. Called him
all
out.
of it. When he calls him out and says, he says the best in the world line, like they're just throwing it in our faces.
I know.
They're just throwing
Shane McMahon is confirmed.
Exactly. Shane McMahon coming
confirmed
to AEW Rampage. Shane McMahon will be there. But anyway, no.
Dude, I Spencer, if you're still listening, man, I could use some tickets to that Rampage.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'll go anywhere. I'll go anywhere. You let me know.
I'll be there. I live 2 hours away. I'll make it happen, baby. No, that was exciting. That's another thing. Like they've got a new show, so there's more content coming out. They've promised that this show is going to be an extension of Dynamite, not just a throwaway show. And I like I said it last night on the War Report, man. If you're gonna make a big splash and you want people to watch your new show, why wouldn't you have CM Punk show up there? All he has to do is stand at the ramp at the end of the show and you fade to black and you've blown up the internet and you've taken over SummerSlam weekend. Because that is bigger than anything that SummerSlam has going right now.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's the thing I wanted to discuss a little bit. Like, it's the night before SummerSlam. You have a chance right away to take over and dominate the headlines of that whole weekend. You take all, there's not a lot WWE could do on SummerSlam. Like, I'm expecting SummerSlam to be a great, great show. I'm going to be there. I'm super excited about it. It's going to be a great, great time. But if CM Punk shows up on AEW television the night before, there's not a lot that WWE could throw out there on SummerSlam that is going to top that. Like, that is going to be the story of it already is. Since the rumor came out last week, it's been the main story of wrestling is like, oh my God, CM Punk and Daniel Bryan are going to AEW. That is insane. Yeah. That is insane. And if he shows up like everyone's thinking he is, like I'm thinking he is, the night before SummerSlam, you've already won the weekend. You've won the weekend before SummerSlam has even started.
And then you've got All Out 2 weeks after that.
Yeah. And then you have, the rumor is a couple weeks after that at the New York show, that's when Daniel Bryan's supposed to show up. So you have in a span of a month, you are literally like, ooh, that game has changed. That game has changed. You know what I mean? And it's crazy.
It's almost like AEW is assembling the greatest Jamaican bobsled team of all time. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm gonna leave that there.
And on top of it, I saw a rumor today that Britt Baker, our girl TMD, is gonna think about bringing in the Iconics for a stable. Let's go.
Well, she teased last night on Dynamite that Rebel is just one person. She can't do everything on her own, and Britt keeps on getting hurt, and Rebel keeps on getting hurt. So she said, "Hey, I've got to bring somebody else in to kind of watch our backs." So I did see that rumor. That would be fun. I was thinking it would be, like a more, powerful type security-ish.
Okay, I'll take the Iconics.
But I'll take the Iconics any day of the week.
But Jeremiah's comment, no, I think that's just how they tease his arrival. I think he gets called to personality back because that's not owned by the WWE.
No, it's going to be owned by Tony Khan.
They licensed it out, and Tony Khan has shown that he likes to license songs out for better or for worse. Moxley's theme sucks. Sorry.
Oh, you're not a fan, huh?
I liked it for the first time it came out, but I dug his.
I like the first. I like his.
I like Wild Thing. If you're Rick freaking Vaughn, but that's just me. Yeah, 92 Dream Team, baby. Let's go. AEW 2021. Absolutely.
It's just they're loading up, man, and I think I disagree. I told him last night on the show. I disagree. I think he's wrong.
Yeah, Ed coming with that fire.
He had that heat last night. He was bringing it.
Dude,
I disagree on the Jungle. Yeah. I can somewhat agree on the Mox theme, but I will disagree to the end of time when it comes to Jungle Boy's theme. That's a banger.
And the fans love it.
Yeah, I agree. And as Spencer says, I would not be against this either because I preferred this of the CM Punk entrance songs. But Spencer says, look, going to throw this out there. Tony, buy This Fire Burns from my hometown. kill switch engage of the Boston.
TK watches the show.
Oh, of course. Well, and I was going to say, that's the thing, right? I feel like TK, Tony Khan, he is one of us. Yep. He's always been one of us. He's a wrestling nerd who has been watching wrestling his whole life, and now he runs a wrestling company, and he's giving us things like, there's a reason why a lot of people, I know you and I are two of them, we kind of love everything that AEW is doing. It's kind of hitting all cylinders for us. It is by far the show I enjoy the most every week. NXT is great. They're my two favorite, but
yeah,
if I had to choose one wrestling show to watch a week, if it was like you can only watch one, it would be AEW, and it's not close for me. It's not close. And I just feel like we're getting taken care of by one of us. He's giving us what we want because he knows what we want because he is one of us.
He's treating us like fans that pay attention to his show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he knows what we like. It sounds like he keeps an eye on what we're talking about. I mean, I'd hope he watches the show, but keeps an eye on what the internet's talking about.
Well, he popped in the chat. He popped in the chat that one time.
That is true.
He does. I think he keeps tabs on it.
He keeps tabs on us. It's just like I said. It's like a fear of missing out thing. AEW is awesome at hitting it. Like if I don't catch it live on Wednesday nights, like I feel like I'll watch it, but then I'm like, oh man, what's everybody talking about? Because I keep tabs on it if I have to miss it or be late, and you just never know what's going to show up because they're not predictable either. The debut, the Nick Gage thing was like the top of the show, and the Andrade thing was on a Friday night when they were, you know what I mean, when the basketball playoffs were going on. So they never stick to some similar script where you're like, okay, that's why I think CM Punk debuting at the United Center in Chicago, if you're trying to fill that thing, that's the move. So because it's not expected, because everybody's expecting All Out or Dynamite, but that's how you get numbers on a Friday night. That's how you get the world watching, in my opinion.
I agree, especially, they tout it as it's going to be this new big special event. Everything's
first dance.
Yeah, first dance. Just everything's lining up for it, right? And everything it has to happen. It just has to happen, and it's going to happen, and I'm probably going to cry, and it's going to be fine. And yeah, I'm going to have the time of my life seeing CM Punk back. And then a month later, I'm going to get to see Daniel Bryan over there too. And I'm going to be like, okay, all right. Yeah, let's go. Like who else? Bring whatever. I don't care. Oh man, tremendous. And then Ashford says he was still trending after AEW went off the air too. I think, so they're just, for me, they're on all cylinders. They're just killing it. Like the booking is consistent. There's just so much involved that is just, I don't know. They're hitting it out of the park. So, so we're about a half hour in, got a half hour left. We still have to do a draft. So are there any other things from the wrestling week that you feel we need to hit before we dive into this draft? What is, before we do this, what is there? You've got to be joking me moment.
Oh, I didn't even have one this week.
Oh,
I mean,
oh my God. Was it Keith Lee losing again?
Yeah.
You want to talk about Keith Lee for like 5 minutes and cry and get upset?
Yes. All right.
Then we can have our draft and try to end this on a good note.
Listen, Keith Lee, it's not his fault, but you brought him back in his hometown. He had a good match against Lashley. That's fine. I like that. He could take it out of Lashley. I'm cool with that. But then to just have him lose again, you got to be joking me. How do you have a guy like Keith Lee and not know what to do with the man? Like, how do you not just take what he did in NXT and transplant it to the main roster and just go? Like, you got to be joking me. Keith Lee deserves better. I have this really sinking feeling in my stomach that this is one of the last times we're going to see Keith Lee. I think he's on a future endeavors pretty quick here because they're not doing anything with him, and they're having him lose to Karrion Kross, who just lost to Jeff Hardy, and they were going to have Karrion Kross lose to Jeff Hardy again.
Yep. And that's the thing that, for me, when I heard that report where Jeff Hardy couldn't go, either I don't know why he wasn't there or injury or I don't know, but when the original plan was Karrion Kross was going to lose again to Jeff Hardy for the second week in a row. And he was going to keep on losing until And I agree, Jeremiah. Keith Lee getting that kind of – it is so disappointing. That guy, about a year ago, almost to the day that he came back last week, he was a double champion. And he was like the king of NXT. And you saw at the Survivor Series when he stood at the end with Roman there. Like, that crowd he was made. He was a made man in that Survivor Series. And yeah, I understand whatever happened. You know, he got sick and then he was injured and not cleared for a long time. And there was just a little bit of weirdness that was going on there. Nobody really knew what was going on.
That he's teasing talking
about now. I guess the other day he said in a couple weeks he's gonna let us know why or whatever. It's very the timeline is just very odd. Like, that guy again. Hopefully, I kind of agree with you. I do have that sneaky suspicion that we might be on the way out of Keith Lee in WWE, which is fine. He'll end up somewhere and he'll be great somewhere because he's great, you know. But at the same, it's just very bizarre. To me, he's another example, if that does happen, of a guy that should have been can't miss. Should have been can't miss. He was already made for you. And they messed it up again. And they couldn't figure it out. And it's just bizarre. It's just really bizarre. But yeah, for the Karrion Kross part of it, equally bizarre. I guess the rumor, or what I've read today, was that he was going to keep on losing on the main roster until they brought Scarlett up with him, and Scarlett was going to get him to his winning ways.
Whip him into shape. What about this old comment for our buddy Jeremy Rowe here? Braun getting hired back?
Yeah, I mean, they'd be smart. I like Braun. I mean, I think they don't use him to his full capability of like how awesome he could be. They kind of made him stale with his terrible promos and terrible scripted stuff.
Yeah.
But he's good. He's a former champion. You would be dumb not to sign him back if he wants to come back. Yep, Sunday brunch. This Sunday, yeah. Go to the shop, buy the mugs. What they used to say, NWO. Buy the shirt, buy the mugs. Buy the mugs. No, but I mean, if Braun has interest in coming back and he's willing to take a pay cut, or maybe they offer him the same deal, I don't know. They brought back a few people they let go. If he's willing to come back, it would be smart of them to do so. It would not be a smart business decision to not bring him back. It's just at this point, the same thing I asked with Samoa Joe. Why would you get rid of him in the first place? If you're going to bring him back, yeah, exactly. But if you're going to bring him back, how about you figure something else out and you just don't get rid of the guy to begin with? I think that, it doesn't look good from a business aspect when you fire a bunch of people and then you bring back a third of the people. It kind of shows that you might not know what you're doing. Jeremiah says his promos abilities are great. It's the BS script they feed him. I agree. I think the guy can talk. And I think, like you said, they feed him this, oh, man, I'm going to do this and brought it all. And it's like, no, just let him tell you that he's going to kill you. Because if you look at him, you believe he will kill you. Like, that's all you need, When he was feuding with Roman and throwing him off ambulances and off platforms and all this stuff, he was awesome and he was over because he was a big guy destroying a bunch of shit.
Yeah,
and then they were like,
semi trucks on his back.
Yeah, they're tipping cars over, he was just this, like, oh man, he's going to destroy something and it's going to be awesome. And then they turned him into this, like, oh, go out there and be our hero and blah blah. I'm not stupid. You're stupid. It's just like no. But if they use him the right way, he's good, and they would be smart to bring him back. All right, Pluggo. We got to go. We got
about 20 minutes left.
15, 20 minutes or so. Let's dive into this draft. Current champions. You said all? You say it all?
Yeah, why not? You could go, let's put together a team of champs.
I can't breathe. I'm nervous. All right. Well, since you and Spencer cheated and you won the draft, how have we been doing this? Does the winner go first? Or
I mean, you can go first if you want, but
I don't care. I'm asking. I don't remember. Have we been doing winner of the last draft goes first, or the challenger goes first?
I don't know. We're doing it all. I'll go first. I don't care. Did you go? You went first with the pizza toppings and left me.
No, you did. You took pepperoni.
Well, you go first this week. Then I'll let you have it.
Roman Reigns. No.
Hey, I mean,
no, but seriously, I'm taking Roman Reigns.
Hey.
But no.
That's fine.
I would, I'm going to say he's not the WWE champion. He's the Universal champion, but I would think everyone knows that he's the main champion, the main event on the biggest company in the world. Yeah. Number one pick, I'm going with Roman Reigns.
Well, thank you for just leaving Kenny Omega.
There you go.
Ready to go off the top. That because I think if
you kill like 5 birds with one stone right there.
Yeah, you take Kenny. Yeah, exactly. I got the 4-belt champ. He can play any part you need. I mean, let's go. Let's go. All right, you're up. You're up, stud.
I'm up. Oh God. All right.
I mean, Roman Reigns is a solid hitter. Like that's a good leadoff right there.
Thank you.
Very good.
All right, I'm gonna go. Oh boy, I think I'm gonna take. Man, this is tough. I'm gonna take Britt Baker.
Oh no, that was gonna be.
I'm gonna take Britt Baker. My second pick.
I should have took her one.
Good. Yeah, I would have took Omega. I would have Reigns and Omega, but I'm very happy. I'm very, very happy with Roman Reigns and Britt Baker.
Did I see a Reginald in the comments?
I did see a Reginald. That was a cool ass entrance. I don't care what anyone says. I popped when he did that flip. I was like, R-Truth. R-Truth was like, what? Like, how'd you do that? And I was like, that's pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
I'm not taking Reggie at 2.
No?
Man, no.
You could get him. He's a sleeper. You can get him.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the man we talked about last night. I'm going to take Miro.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm going to get those 2 just killers off the board right now and just start strong. I got a few more tricks up my sleeve. I don't think you're going to take them. So let's go.
Yeah. One thing I will preface, because I'm mainly going to go individual champions, but are we doing tag team? Like,
if you want, you can take a tag team. That's their champions. So if they've got a belt, they're available.
Yeah. All right. God.
Parrish wants us to take him, but I'm trying not to get fired.
Yeah.
Episode 13.
I know how that be.
We gotta make it to 13. I got bills to pay, baby.
Oh man. I'm trying to think. All right, I'm gonna go Shingo. I'm gonna do New Japan NJPW heavyweight champion. I'm gonna go Shingo Tagaki. I think that's how you say his last name. I'm sorry if I messed that up, but I think that got it right. But I'm going Shingo.
I'd saying all this. I mean, he's up there. He's got a big title, but I mean, who's he fight every week? Trevor Murdoch? Come on.
Hey, what are you knocking Trevor Murdoch for?
Why? That's
what the hell did he do to you?
I'm saying that's all he faces every week. There's no depth in that world title picture in NWA. I watch it every single week. I don't know if you know this or not, but a couple weeks ago I was on Power Out, just by myself.
Yeah, solo show too. Oh, trust me, you led into the War Report. I was very impressed.
That's how much love I have for my NWA there. But no, I'm gonna go number 3, Deonna Purrazzo, Impact Women's Champion. Get her off the board. She is phenomenal. She's doing some of the best work in wrestling. Period. Boom, light it up.
That is a good one. God.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I know this is tough.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna go with my. Yeah, I'm gonna go with my man Swerve.
Ooh.
I'm gonna take the North American champion, and I'm gonna
take
my
man
guy Swerve. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's Owen's guy.
I was gonna say that's your son's favorite fan, Swerve. He said he could be a member of Hit Row when he's older.
He said as soon as he's ready, he's in a video, and I was like, Swerve, hit us up. For those who don't know, I'll have to repost the video, but my son, I was watching TakeOver, and when they were doing the little rap battle, and Hit Row started rapping, and my son was playing off to the side, and all of a sudden he comes over to the table, and he starts he had like a little toy in his hand, and he was like shaking his butt, doing the thing, and I sent it over to Swerve, and he loved it, and said that he's an honorary member of Hit Row now, so my son is like doing big things, bigger than his dad. Oh, so I'm at 4. This is interesting. All right. So
pick number 4.
I'm going to take Bianca Belair.
Oh,
SmackDown Women's Champ.
I almost took her with the last pick, but I thought maybe you would do something different and she would be there for me.
You thought wrong.
But that's a good pick. All right, now I got to get. Oh my God! All right,
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I think I got this one in the bag too.
Maybe.
You might want to create some burner accounts to vote.
No, I'm good. I don't cheat like you and Spencer.
Whoa.
But
no cheating. The only thing I've ever cheated is I paid Tad $100 to make sure I beat Spencer in the Crazy Wicked Pinball tournament.
Well, I'm not going to share the comment in the chat because that's the direction I was going in, and I don't want it to think like I'm copying Parrish. But I am going to go with the United Kingdom champion. I'm going to go with Walter.
That's a good pick. I didn't even, you know what? When I was putting this together, I didn't even think about Walter, which says an awful lot about
I think is he the longest reigning champion under the WWE umbrella? He has to be, right?
Yeah, he's had it forever.
Forever. Literally forever.
It's a weird vibe, right? Because like Kaylee Ray had it for a long time until she lost
Pete Dunne before Walter had it forever.
But they do that in the UK. They make them unbeatable champs, but also that pandemic era, like they weren't running shows, so they racked up like a free 300 days.
Yeah, so free, years worth of days. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hey, do what you got to do. So now I got my final pick. Oh my goodness. And there's so many great champions going on, but I think it's very heavy. It's very biased. I think I got to take the Young Bucks. I know we said,
okay.
I got to do it. I need a tag team. And unfortunately, WWE tag teams right now are not on the Bucks level. The Bucks are doing big things, but now I've got just stars.
It's true. It is true.
I got studs.
Like, I mean, so nervous about losing to me in this draft. You needed to take an extra.
Yes, I went. I swing for. Listen, I lost. I lost.
Good pick, man.
I lost Anthony Rizzo today. My Rockets are drafting number 2 overall. I had to come out swinging. I had to win. I gotta win something today.
That's fair. That's fair. Parrish, good call on Josh Alexander. I actually think he should be the guy that beats Omega for the Impact Championship whenever that happens. I think he would be a good pick to do that. Jeremiah, any slander of the if you're referring to the New England Patriots with your comments, they are not going to be shown on this stream. I'm just letting you know that. I appreciate you being here, but there will be no slander about the greatest sports franchise to ever exist. But anyway, so
the New York Yankees are in New England.
Oh, get out!
Oh, he's rattling it with his fifth pick. Getting in his head.
Look, I get it. Sports fans, you hate Boston because we win all the time.
No Cardona, no
we're
Alexander,
like MJF. We're better than you. I get it. It's cool. It's cool.
Ed, it's cool. There's still one pick left. JPJ's got a chance to.
No, I'm done. I went first.
Who'd you pick 5th?
I took Walter.
Oh, that's right. Jesus Christ. I gotta
watch the show. Pluggo.
I don't even pay attention.
Watch the show.
I'm calling my agent.
Good Lord.
I was paying attention to the New England slander. Yes, Ed. If we had a third person today, we probably could have went deeper.
Oh, yeah, we easily could. Yeah, we could easily.
Like I said, there's a lot of
we're on a time constraint with the Quizplex, so
And I think Quizplex has Ella J on it, and who else? I'm going to look it up right now, but I know Ella J is one of the contestants. Zach is going to kill it and hosting like always.
Of course. I mean, Quizplex is always, at the end of the month, it's always a fun show. Who doesn't love trivia? Like trivia. Parrish is saying you should have took the Usos over.
Pass. I think there's more I think there's the Bucks look like the Usos right now are Roman's lackeys with belts. The Bucks are stars right now.
It's fair. All right.
Well, and you know how I feel. I don't think Jimmy should have it. I think Jimmy shouldn't be on TV.
That's fair.
We talked about it a couple weeks ago, so I am going to just stick by my guns on that.
I got it. Yeah.
So,
chat, we do have about another 7 to 10 minutes or so left in here before we hand it off to Zach and the gang for Quizplex. So hit us up in the chat. Let us know what you want to talk about. Ask us any questions that you want about wrestling, as you can see, we can talk baseball, we can talk football, we can talk anything. We are jacks of all trades over here on Between Two Beards. So let us know in the chat what you want to talk about. Ed calling you out, man. He's saying the Bucks are Omega's lackeys at this point.
Are they? I look at it like this, right? So the Usos have always been, but the Bucks for a period of time there were like, on their own main event champs. They main event, right? The Usos have always kind of been. When has we ever seen the Usos, take over a show?
I mean,
when they were
at their height, they had some bang, and them in the New Day. I mean, that was some good stuff. That was some good stuff.
The only reason I took the Bucks as my tag teams is because there's not a lot of great tag teams in WWE, and since I have to take champions, that's where you're going. And hey, I got the 4-time champ at the top, and then I got the Bucks at the bottom, so I had an extra person.
Hey,
I've got the elite lined up with Miro, who's going to murder everybody.
Parrish throwing some major shade at the Bucks. He says Bucks put the titles on themselves. They waited a year and a half. It's not like they did it right away. Like they waited a while to do it. I think when we talked about it a little bit last night on the Wool Report, like everyone always gives these guys crap because they put themselves over and stuff like that, which, yeah, I get it. They're EVPs. They do that. But I think the majority of them spent the whole first year of the company not putting themselves over and building up other people. So now when they put themselves over, there's challengers for them that people want to see beat them, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
It's the thing. It's like they're damned if they do, damned if they don't, right? So for the first year, from all the AEW haters, from what I heard in my circles, was I thought Kenny Omega was supposed to be the best wrestler in the world. Why isn't he got a title? Why is he doing all this other stuff? Why is, what the Young Bucks thought they were the greatest thing ever? Why are they losing a private party in an opening round of a tournament? It's just like, but then if they put the belts on themselves, then it's like, oh, they're putting themselves over. So they're in a weird spot. Nobody ever talked being the EVPs of the company. And the only person that seems to be like, okay with it is Cody. Cody's like, I'll put myself over. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like
Cody's going to turn heel soon.
Right, but you need this, right? So you need the Bucks, the Elite, Cody. You need these guys to win these belts because they're the reason AEW is where it's at in terms of like, without those guys, I don't think AEW exists, right? Tony Khan doesn't have a good building block. So you need to start putting titles on these guys for historic reasons, right? So you're beating a 2-time TNT champion. It means a little bit more. You're beating the Bucks who have the titles. It's going to mean more when they lose it. Omega, when he loses it to Hangman, as weird as it sounds, it's going to mean more than if Hangman beat Jericho in the first, in my opinion, right?
Oh, for sure.
You're setting up the pieces, but you're using them because eventually with all these EVPs, they're going to get older. They're going to start doing other things. They're going to start taking a little seat back, and you can see they're planting the seeds to build a nice young chorus. We talked about last night on the War Report of like the Jungle Boys, the Darby Allins, MJF, Sammy Guevara's, those type guys, Britt Baker. They just picked up Thunder Rosa, who I think is going to be a centerpiece for that women's division. Hikaru Shida is still very young. They've got a very nice core, but you need established guys who are acting like the Young Bucks. And the only thing I'm going to say about last night on this show is you got to dunk that shit when they did the Meltzer drive. You got to put that in the hole.
If you're going to do that, you got to hit it.
You got to hit it. It looks hokey if you don't.
Yeah, you got to hit it. Ecto, I agree with you. I think a lot of us are ready for a heel turn. And Jeremy, to answer your question here, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think
Fizz is just natural.
He's
already getting booed.
Yeah, he's already getting booed. I thought it was amazing how on Dynamite they were. It's the only line he said before Black showed up out of anywhere, out of nowhere. I'm sorry to take him out. He did like, well, the world we're living in today, and you just knew one of those Cody wrote, and Malachi Black was like, no, not happening.
He saved us all.
He saved us all from another America. America's the best.
But like I said, I think Cody is smart enough to know that what he's doing is, I think he's a genius. I know that's one of those things that I get kind of flack for at times, but I think Cody knows exactly what he's doing, and he is playing us all like a fiddle, doing that promo that I flamed about the the world we live in, and he's being that guy. He knows that there's tension right now in the world, and he's using it. And eventually, he's going to turn heel on all of us, and we're going to be like, God damn it, Cody.
Yep.
Yeah. So good for him.
Yeah, Parrish says Jericho was the guy that put AEW on the map. They needed him more than any elite member champion, 100%. And I think that's the reason why they picked him to be the first champion.
It legitimizes it.
He had the name legitimacy. Everyone knows who Chris Jericho is. He's one of the best to ever do it. Yeah, and at the same time, that whole year, like Pluggo said, everyone was like, "Oh man, why is Omega losing matches? Why are the Young Bucks not? I thought the Young Bucks were the best tag team in the world. Why are they not winning?" You know. And they didn't do that for a long time. And, you know, they took a back seat to Jericho and the Inner Circle, and they took a back seat to Darby Allin and MJF and all these young, and Britt Baker. And, you know, once they started building the ladies division a little bit better, and they took all these back seats. So now, 2.5 years into the thing, when they're coming up on year 3 here, now the Elite are where everyone thought the Elite would be when the thing started, right?
And now, all those building blocks are up there with them.
Exactly.
Too.
And now you have Darby Allin up here and MJF up here and Jungle Boy and all these guys, Sammy Guevara. That is what Jericho being that first champion, which I agree with you, Parrish. He needed to be that guy. That is what they did by kind of taking a back seat and making other people relevant. And now you have all these guys as champion who are playing their heel roles relatively well, that a lot of people want to see the belts off of them. And now you have these people that want to see them take it off of them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And Parrish, I'm going to show this comment. I hope you're being facetious, but if you are not, come on.
Parrish is causing a stir. Jeremiah over here. We'll go one more comment because we're up.
Yeah, we got to skedaddle.
But we'll show this one. I like that. Darby in the world title picture with Hangman after Omega. I'm all for that.
All day.
But listen, guys, we had a lot of fun. You know, the last Thursday of every month, we keep it very tight because we got Quizplex with Zach. We already talked about LJ, and Josiah is also on the panel. Josiah from Canada is his name on Twitter. He'll be on the show competing for I assume a prize, a gift card of some sorts to Pro Wrestling Tees. So stick around after we're done. Hang out, which we will be in the comments talking. We always are. I always get all the questions wrong. I don't think I've ever gotten one right. So I'm not on the show
before, but Quizplex is how I ended up here. So I have a very special place in my heart for Quizplex. So I always watch it when it's on. I try to hang out in the comments. Even if I'm busy, I'll have it on. I'll be watching.
I ended up here because Spencer, forgot to screen me. He was like, "Oh shoot, how did that guy get in here?"
I'm gonna leave it with these couple Parrish comments because he says this, which I disagree, and then he goes, "So I understand. I understand."
That was our fault.
That is, I'm blaming you. I didn't tell him.
It's always on. It's always on Pluggo. Hi, mom, right there.
Oh no! But anyway, like Pluggo said, we are cutting it short tonight. We got a hard hour. Stay on the Love Wrestling. In just a few minutes, we are going to have Quizplex going live. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for being in the chat. A lot of good discussion, a lot of fun. I will post the draft results on our Between Two Beards Twitter. You can vote, and then Pluggo can try to cheat so he can pick the next one next week too. We'll see. Thank you, Jeremiah. Appreciate it. Ashrid, appreciate it. Stay tuned to Love Wrestling. In just a few minutes, you're going to see Zach. We have Josh Robinson popping in with the raid. Everybody that just popped in, stay on the channel. Quizplex will be starting momentarily.
Between
we love
Two
you
Beards
all.
is out. I'm going to go cry about Rizzo.
Between Two Beards getting out of here. Stay tuned for Quizplex in just over a minute or so. We'll see you guys next week, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For Between Two Beards, he's Pluggo. I'm JPJ. We out.